knows his priorities, as you continue to look and see who God has created you to be and the gifts that he's given you and the things that he has put forward for you to do, that begins to shape your priorities and the callings and the passions that God has in you. And so you begin, as you go through life, to narrow those down. Maybe at the beginning of your life, you're like, I could do anything within this spectrum of 150 degrees. And as you go through life and you go, that's not my gifting, that's not my passion, God hasn't called me to that, your focus begins to narrow down more and more. And as your focus gets smaller and more clear and more direct, you're able to see God use you in more powerful ways. And then suddenly decisions are almost made for you. Something comes across your desk or somebody asks you to be part of something, and you can go, you know what, I don't think that's something God would have me to do, because this is the area that God has called me to focus my life on. And there's always going to be times when God maybe needs to check your servant's heart, and so he calls you to do something outside of that, or your focus gets off him, and so he pulls you away from that. But I think as we go through life more and more, we understand the narrowness of the path that God has called us to, and the specific things, the good works that he has prepared in advance for us to do. And so if you know your priorities, those things you need to focus on, your family, the areas in your job, even, people are going to want to call you to all these different areas, but if you can focus on those specific things that you do well, your ministry and the ministry that God has designed you for, not necessarily just, they need they need a greeter at the church. Well, maybe you can't smile and are awful with names and don't like meeting new people. You probably shouldn't be the greeter. You're going to be turning people away. There's always going to be that heart attitude of, God, I want to do whatever it is that you call me to do. But God is going to gear your life, I think, for the most part, to the things that he has created for you to do. So when you know your priorities, then it helps you to plan, because you go, these things aren't even an issue. God is calling me to work in this. So I want to encourage you, if you don't know what your priorities are, to write those things down. What are the top 4, 5, 6 areas that God has given you as your priority? And that will help you to go through life and make all kinds of decisions easy for you. I got an email this week, hey, do you want to be a member of this board? I remember as a kid it seemed like a cool thing to be a member of a board. As an adult, it means more meetings. And I don't know about you, but I have enough of those in my life. So I just wrote back, Dear Rick, what are you smoking? No thanks. Love, Buddy. And that was it. And that's my email. And the decision's done. I don't have to think about it anymore, because I know what my priorities are.